Alright lads, so today we're going to be showcasing the brand new Resurrection Segunda Etapa Ulquiorra. Pretty excited for this character because I am a massive fan of this Resurrection form. So to have a new updated version of this particular Ulquiorra in game, it's also just really cool in my opinion. Now we are using Envy's account, so big up Envy for letting me showcase him today. And in this case we'll basically showcase him as if he's a 2 out of 5 character with 500 additional attack and 1000 additional focus. Now Ulquiorra is an Aranka / Espada with the Captain and Kill abilities. So that's unfortunately one of the bad things about this character. And it's not necessarily a bad thing because he's a very good no attack damaging character, but personally as someone that likes to actually play with SP characters, I prefer my favorite characters like this particular character here to be an SP character. It's not like it makes him bad because Nat characters are still great, especially this Ulquiorra, but I would have just preferred if he was an SP character in my opinion. But essentially this character is designed to be going against the Captain Guild Quest, so you're going to see a lot of skills here increasing the damage that he does in Guild Quest, and his killer is more fit for, again, Guild Quest, right? As of right now, the only really good Captain killer to use in Guild Quest as a Nat character is Gin. And when it comes between these two characters, Ulquiorra is the better character since he does more damage and he can also provide the team with some support. And that'll be due to his entire kit. As you can see here, he does have an SA2, which is a debuff and a barrier. He does come with Diminisher, so that debuff will last 20 seconds. And he also does come with multi-barrier, so that barrier that he's providing for himself is a +5 barrier and a +3 barrier for his teammates. And what I like about this is that it does make sense since he does have a 40% normal attack damage increase when you are at full stamina. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any way to stay at full stamina, but the shield would definitely help him keep the full stam, especially in something like Guild Quest, for example. He is a ranged normal attack damaging character with sharpshooter, which is great in my opinion. And in addition to that 40% normal attack damage when you are at full stamina, he also just has innately 80% bruiser built into the character with flurry +1, and then also this extra bit of damage. 10% more range damage, but it gets increased to 30% in Guild Quests, and then 30% more killer effect, which then gets increased to 50% in Guild Quests. So for the most part, he's basically a Guild Quest character, and unfortunately I can't really showcase him in Guild Quest right now because it's not available, but just understand that he's going to perform very good in the Captain Guild Quest, more specifically the Range Captain Guild Quest, but you definitely can still use him in the melee Guild Quest if you really want to. Alright, so we're jumping into IT, the test of this character. Unfortunately, in this case, he does not have killer, neither does he have killer against the bosses. As we can see here, his SD1 is a pushback attack, which is actually not too bad. He isn't a Nat character with guard breaks, so realistically, you never have to use your strong attacks outside of your SA2. So having a pushback attack isn't really that bad in my opinion. Does have a decent chance to inflict weakening. His SA3 is going to be a standard full screen, and then his SA2 is going to be the utility attack. So it is a distant area in front of him, but what you will see here is that it is a debuff. So the second I use it, even if it doesn't hit them, it's going to be lowering their attack, defense, and focus by 33%. So that therefore allows us to do a tad bit more damage to them. Of course, there is a problem with the debuff effect, especially when compared to a boost, because the debuff is best looked as a reverse boost, right? A boost will increase your attack, focus, and defense by 33%, whereas a debuff will lower their attack, defense, and focus by 33%. However, the problem with the boost comes with the fact that it only ever affects one wave. So as you can see there, we used it on the one wave, we killed them, but now we have to wait basically 20 seconds for that debuff to come back. Lucky for Ulquiorra though, he does come with the added effect of actually having the barrier move, which I do like. It's the first time we're seeing a debuff paired with something else. And while the debuff isn't really like super optimal in just normal content, I still like the idea of them combining it. Because this character could have easily just came with the barriers and that would have been perfectly fine. So the added debuff, the added utility, I don't really mind it. And it is quite useful in other content like potentially in Guild Quest if you are clearing slow enough. And also epic raids where there's only one boss. Once more, really do like the end animation of him doing his, reach out, which he did to Aaroniero. It's cool. I love it when they do stuff like that. With that said, though, let's jump back into another run and see if we can actually clear a tad bit faster this time. So what we are noticing here, despite him being a normal attack damaging character with no killer, we're doing quite a bit of damage. And that's mainly due to the fact that we get that 40% extra normal attack damage when at full stamina. And that's really helping us out here. Last run I did take a bit of damage, and that did slow down our run just a tad bit, since we're doing 40% less normal attack damage. And I really do like the visuals of this particular character. The vortex looks really cool. And the nudging of him using his spear attack, throwing it, it just makes perfect sense. I actually really like the night string. See, in that case, we actually would have took damage there, but luckily we had the barrier up, and that allowed us to keep that 40% full stam, and that allowed us to keep that 40% normal attack damage. All right, into the final room. I didn't even realize that we're going against another Ulquiorra. That's kind of funny. Let's use our debuff, and then let's use our soul bomb. Really cool sub in my opinion. That's what I love about this character, man. Like the visuals of this character, despite being Nat, I feel like it's kind of wasted because he's a Nat character, but the visuals for this character is really cool, especially that soul bomb. I absolutely adore it. So 1 minute and 30-second clear time isn't really too bad considering that we are using a Nat character without killer. His damage output is definitely impressive for a Nat character, especially when you can stay at full stamina, which for the most part is quite easy since he does come with that debuff and also barrier SA2. So next up, we're taking Ulquiorra into the Menos Grande Epic Raids. Currently, this boss has 25 million HP. We are not a bonus, so we're not getting any extra damage, but this is content where a character like this really starts to excel a tad bit, mainly again because that SA2, the debuff is going to allow us to do a tad bit more damage, and there's only one boss. So it's time like this where like NAD characters, you can just really do a lot of damage. Now we're not going to do the entire boss fight, mainly because I can't get through the second phase. Since this account doesn't have any pets, so it means we're just basically forced to die on the second phase. But we're going to look at how fast we can actually clear the first phase, which is the equivalent of doing around 7.5 million damage. So far so good though, you definitely can see a damage increase when we do use that SA2. And in this case, we're actually able to do 7.5 million damage in around 50 or so seconds. That's not too bad. We're going to keep going though, just see how far we actually can go, but we are going to die the second the traps start to spawn in. We'll use our soul bomb here just to do that extra bit of damage. But from the looks of it, it looks like we're doing around 47 damage with 55k on our final hit. If we actually use our debuff, how much damage we do then? 55. Yeah, so we're doing, 60, almost 70k there on our nat string. So we're able to do almost around 12.5 million damage in just under 1 minute and 30 seconds. Again, that's quite good. We would have probably beat it if we had the pet, but unfortunately the account doesn't have the pet, so we were forced to die. But honestly, not too bad. This is where a character like this can start to shine a bit. And I feel like if we started to get more content like this, with there's only one boss in particular, that's where characters with the debuff effect can really start to become a tad bit more optimal, and can kind of be on the same level of someone with a boost SA2, for example. And in my opinion, since we started to get more characters with the debuff effect, we've started to see it a few more in the last recent couple of months. You know, we just had the recent Kisuke have the debuff SA2, and now we have this Ulquiorra with the debuff SA2 in combination with a barrier move. So debuffs are definitely starting to become a tad bit more common. Whether that's a good or a bad thing really comes down to Caleb. If they start making more content where there's only one boss, characters like this will start to shine a tad bit more. This character can do a lot of damage in guild quests, which is where he's basically designed for. So if you are someone that does pull him, that's where you're going to get most of your usage out of this character in that particular game mode. And because he just does so much damage, and there's so many other characters now that just absolutely just destroy the guild quest game mode and make it super easy, I'm not going to be surprised if somewhere down the line, maybe at the end of the year, if we do get a harder guild quest difficulty announced. And if for some reason they change it so there's only one boss instead of 5, that's where characters like this in guild quest, this character and also the most recent Kisuke, will be really good in, because it's going to lower their stats and allow you to clear faster, and also take less damage because the boss has now a lowered attack and focus stat. But with that said, that's the video for today, just showcasing the brand new Ulquiorra. He's a very solid character, all things considered. Nothing like super amazing that you can live without this character, unless you really need the support in guild quests. But since he is just a NAD character that isn't really designed for normal PvE content, again, you're very limited on where you can bring him. I'm a tad bit disappointed it's not an SP character, because I feel like if he was an SP character, it would have been really cool. But I can kind of forgive it because we literally just got 2 very good SP Ulquiorras. So getting a NAD Ulq like this is, you know, it's whatever. But I do think he's the fun NAD character. He's got some really cool visuals. So yeah, a pretty solid performance, all things considered. With that said though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. In the comments below, let me know what you like to think about this Ulquiorra. And see you guys next time. Take care and peace.